Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another somatic check-in in the pandemic. Today I'm standing. I thought I would try this out, and let's start with breathing, as always, and remembering to make that exhale, the out breath longer than the inhale, and make a sound with it, whatever sound you feel making today, and it can feel really good to make that sound. Let's take 3 breaths together. Remembering that sound on the out breath doesn't have to be pretty. We are carrying a lot of stuff at the moment. These are unprecedented times. None of us know how to do this, but we're trying to figure it out all together. And I hope that this is somewhat helpful in the morning or whenever you're watching. I know some of you are watching on your lunch break from the UK. So thanks for that. So I also want you to notice a sense of connection, that some of us are getting together to do this. And so just really orienting ourselves to the sense of connection. So we breathed a little bit. We've oriented ourselves to connection for a moment. And now just as ever, we're going to take a baseline. How are you doing this morning? What are you noticing in your body? What feels tight? What feels loose? What feels neutral? How's your heart, both in terms of how fast it's beating and also how are your emotions this morning? What's going on in your thoughts? What thoughts are milling about today? Just take a little bit of a baseline, of a temperature check of where you're at today. And try to notice with curiosity and as much non-judgment as you can handle in this moment. Just trying to be curious. We're not really trying to change anything when we do this baseline check-ins. We're just saying hello to our body and see where we are at. See how we're feeling in this moment. And however you're feeling is just fine. Might be even unpleasant, but if that's how you're feeling, that's okay. So now that we've taken a little bit of a baseline, I want to share another somatic exercise with you. And this morning, I want us to play with center, collapse, and expand. And we're going to do that kind of pretty quickly because usually I try to keep those videos short. But if you find this exercise useful, I really invite you to explore it by yourself with a little more space. So the first thing I want you to do is kind of find, if you're sitting or you're standing, this is usually an exercise that works better standing if you can stand, but you can absolutely do it sitting as well. Try to find a place where you feel your weight is distributed down through both your legs and you feel a sense of center. You feel a sense of like, I am standing here or I am sitting here and I am centered. I feel like, my body is kind of my weight is fairly distributed across both halves of my body, whether you're sitting or standing. So take a moment. You might want to kind of move your hips around, maybe even move your feet around to find that center. I want to rock back and forth, kind of play a little bit with your body in space, whether you're sitting or standing, and then find that place where you feel, I'm centered now. And maybe even feeling as if there was kind of something that was pulling you up from the top of your head so that you just feel that centeredness. Whether you're standing or you're sitting, just feel that center. So hopefully you found some sense of center in And if not, you can always experiment with it later. But after you find your center, then try to go a little bit into collapse. So a little bit of folding. You don't have to go too far. It might just be your neck, might be your shoulders. Just kind of exploring collapse a little bit and notice how that feels. Notice what happens when you're in this position. Notice sensations in your body, thoughts, feelings. How does it feel to be in collapse? You can go even further down if you want to. I'm not going to, otherwise I'm going to disappear from the video. So exploring a little bit of collapse, a little bit of folding, and what happens here, again with curiosity and as much non-judgment as you can handle. And then coming back to center. You know, and you might take a moment to like play with your shoulder or your hips or your feet to find the center again. And then coming back to center. And noticing what it's like to come back to center after exploring a little bit of collapse. Then once you're back in center, we're going to explore expansion. So making yourself as big as you can handle in this moment. You might want to reach up and out. You might want to stand on your tippy toes. You don't have to though, but expand, expand, expand. Take as much space as you can. Expanding, 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 and noticing how it feels to be in this place of expansion with as much curiosity and non-judgment as you can handle. So expanding, making yourself big, making yourself big, expanding, expanding, and then coming back to center. Coming back to center, and notice how it feels to be back in center now. Does it feel the same? Does it feel different than the first time you were in this place of center? And again, with as much curiosity, as much non-judgment as you can manage in this moment. Just noticing what it's like to be in this place of center. And like I said earlier, we've done it really pretty quickly. This center collapse, center, expand, center. And I invite you to explore this by yourselves with more time. Always come back to center though. Always start from this place of center. And then every time you go into a different state, you know, the collapse and folding or the expanding, feeling really big, always coming back to center in the middle. It can be a really good way to find our center back, but also to notice how much movement and even the way we hold our body can influence our thoughts and feelings. So I really encourage you to explore that, because during the day you might notice that you might start to sink more and more and more. And so coming back to center, even expanding a little bit and then coming back to center can be a really helpful tool. So it's just another tool to help us be aware and be connected with our body at this challenging time. So we've been exploring a little bit center, kind of collapse and center and expand and center. So if you just joined us, please feel free to watch it again later. I'll put the video up both here and on YouTube. So now before we finish, let's just orient ourselves outwards. As ever, we started from breathing, orienting in an exercise, and now we orient outwards. I'm noticing the sun is coming in through the window this morning, and it makes me pretty happy because it has been fairly gray the last couple of days. So I'm gonna breathe into that sunshine. You might want to find anything that feels pleasant, comfortable, or neutral in your surrounding, and it doesn't have to be outside. It can be a color. There's a very nice teal on my water bottle, which is also pretty pleasant. It can be a shape or a texture around you. And breathe into whatever it is that feels pleasant or neutral, comfortable for a couple of moments. And again, notice what it's like to focus on something pleasant, neutral, or comfortable for just a couple of moments. And remember that this is a tool that's at your disposal also. So today, to finish up, because I woke up with my lungs feeling a little bit restless this morning, I want to finish up with wooing. You'll find a fuller explanation of this technique in another video. So for today, I'm going to give you the brief one. So we're going to woo together 3 times. And what that means is we're going to take a breath in. Try to take as deep a breath as you can, almost as if you were breathing from your toes up. And on the exhale, we're going to say woo. Basically, we're going to try to get some vibration in our body. And we're going to say woo, which is why it's called wooing. And we're going to do that together 3 times. We're going to have different lung capacities. So please don't regulate yourself against my lung capacity. Use your own lung capacity. And when you exhale, even if the sound runs out, keep breathing out until all your breath has come out, so that when you go for your next inhale, it's really a deep inhale. Okay, let's try it out. And again, notice how you're doing in this moment. Notice, again, how's your body doing? How's your heart, both physically in terms of how fast it's beating and metaphorically? And how are your thoughts doing after this short practice? And good morning to anyone who's joining us now. You can always watch this later. And thank you if you've been joining us for this whole time. So once more, thank you for joining me in this somatic practice. I know it really supports me, and I hope it supports you. And I hope you have a day where you feel care and support, even if you're physically distancing. I hope you can feel care and support in your life, in your web today. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.